So recently, Funcom gave us our first direct for Dune Awakening. With the 24-minute video came a lot of new information regarding the map, the amount of players in a server, the gameplay, PvP, politics, and building. So let's get into it and discuss what's new with Dune Awakening. So starting off, let's talk about the engine. For Dune Awakening, Funcom is using Unreal Engine 5, which they say to be, quote, obviously one of the better choices. Now, I have to agree with them here. UE5 is probably going to be the future of gaming with its insane new features. In the Direct, we got our first look at how Lumen will affect the game, which is essentially the most realistic lighting to date. Even if you aren't really interested in lighting, you'll have to agree that it adds to the game monumentally. Overall, the graphics in the game appear to be incredibly realistic. So gameplay, the real meat on the bone. This is what we all care about, and one question is on all of our minds. We're all thinking the same thing. Will it be good? Well, hopefully I can shed some light on that for you. Dune Awakening is going to have a very similar gameplay loop to that of Rust or Ark. However, I want to make it clear that this game is a lot more streamlined as far as we know, and a lot less grindy. The game will include multiple safe zones around the map where players can build their bases. There will also be a lot of PvP areas where players will fight for resources and, of course, spice. From what we know, the game will basically revolve around spice. Collecting it will be highly sought after and will reward players who engage in PvP. It will be used for fuel, to buy things, and even to pay taxes. All of the big factions we know and love will be in the game, like House Atreides and the Harkonnen, as well as all the rest. We know that players can make a guild where they can amass a lot of players, and once they have a certain amount, they can join one of the great houses. We've seen that you can actually make bases and turn them into blueprints similar to Grounded, but for a full base, which you can just save and keep for when you're in a hostile territory to set up a quick base. You can also sell your blueprints to other players if you want to make a bit of extra money. We've also been told that the game will only wipe in certain places on the map, so your bases won't be wiped monthly as far as we know. Certain PvP areas around the map will be hit with a sandstorm once a week that will cover up precious buildings and structures, but reveal new ones for players to explore too. The game appears to share a lot of similarities to Funcom's previous title, Conan Exiles. What sets this game apart, however, except for the giant worms of course, is the politics. Now, not much is known about the politics in the game, but from speaking with some mods in the official Discord server, I found out that politics might be like a voting system where each week factions vote to make important changes to the world and other factions. This will encourage players to take sides and try to sway as many votes as they can to their side. This is all speculation, however, so take it with a grain of salt. According to the developers, they are aiming for servers to be huge, and I mean huge. We know that the developers want thousands of people per server, which is monumental. However, what we don't know yet is how many thousands. People estimate that it will be around 7,000, but that's just a guess. According to IGN, we will be able to customize our characters in depth, including our home planet and origin, which will decide some of our starting traits and aspects of our appearance. We also know that there will be an in-depth skill tree and crafting systems, which will allow players to switch up their playstyle from someone who uses telekinesis and the voice, to a soldier utilizing guns and advanced technology. We also know that there will be abandoned underground tunnels and labs which will hold precious resources and are home to a lot of exotic flora. Players will likely have to fight to claim the loot from such places due to the item's value. Lastly, for the actual gameplay, there has been a small rumor that players might at some point be able to go to other planets. In an interview with one of the lead developers, Scott Jr., said, quote, "We can potentially go to other planets post-launch, but it's not in the launch offering. So take that with a pinch of salt, but keep it in mind. It would be very cool to see some of the other planets from the Dune universe." So far that covers most bases on Dune Awakening. If you want to keep up to date with any more news from the game, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It goes a long way. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see me cover in the future, and as always, go check out the video on screen now.
Arrakis is a test. Few survive it. But the humans that do